Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, authors. I am Sarah, and thank you for joining me again today for another session of designing in Canva and creating book related content for your author brand. Today, where it is the first of a new month, it's always a very exciting time to kind of reflect where you are in meeting your goals and really assign new goals that you have to accomplish during the month, the week, what have you. And you might be thinking, okay, Sarah, you're talking about goal setting. What are you doing in a design program? And what I am going to be walking through today is every month I like to set a group of monthly goals for my writing. And I share those goals online with my followers, my readers, and my writer friends as kind of a way to keep myself in check. If I'm putting these goals out there in the world, I am kind of holding myself accountable by sharing those with other people. And at the end of every month, I also do a recap of my goals. And, how much writing did I do? Did I meet the goals that I set for myself? What other things came up that may have either hindered or helped in that process? And so not only does it become just a great way to kind of check in with yourself and keep on task, but it gives you content. And I'm of the opinion that having content is half the battle. And if you can find ways to have regular content that your readers can come to expect and kind of follow you on your journey, it's really helpful. And it is a way to really have dedicated designs ready to go that you don't have to spend as much energy on designing because you're using a template or what have you. So for today, I'm actually shaking things up a little bit because I have a template for my goals already that I've been using, I think, for several years now. But I want to change things up. And once we take a look at the template, I think I'll be able to express more why I want to shake things up. But we've been talking a lot about branding and how, creating something that your readers can automatically associate with you once they see it in their feed. They're scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. I want them to be like, oh, this is a post from Sarah. Oh, this is Sarah's monthly goal post. Like, let's see what it's about. So to get things started, I'm gonna reference my old template that I have. So I'm just gonna pull up my goals and go to my personal projects, and I am going to my monthly goal post. And right away, you will see the kind of the layout that I have been using for several years now. It is a two-part post. So on Instagram, when I post it, a user would have to swipe to see the first or the second picture, which actually has my goals listed. And you'll note that, each month has its own color scheme, pictures associated with that month, what have you. And there's just to say that I don't like how this looks. I think it looks very nice and very sleek and kind of calming and very professional looking. However, I want it to be a one-stop shop going forward. And I want there to be more about me per se in the design rather than about the month itself. So instead of having, snowy blues for the month of January, I want it to be something much more identifiable to me as my author self, and even for my series. So I have a couple ideas that I've been thinking about all day long. But because I have something created already, I like to just kind of use what I have as a base and move forward. And I do that for a lot of my designs when I'm working in Canva. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy this image. And I did this through the resize feature just because I know that this is a 1080 by 1080. You can also go to the file and make a copy from there. For me, it's just easier to go to that resize menu, but because resizing is a Canva Pro feature, you may not have access to that, so that's just something to keep in mind. Um, And okay, so I have my new template that I'm building, and I'm going to label this as monthly goal post, but we're going to put 2003 in front of it for um, so that I know when I'm looking back on this, like if I ever need to reference the old post, I have those items distinguished. And for right now, I'm just going to start deleting things. I'm going to keep these content blocks and actually move them over here because I want to have access to that information eventually. Oops. I did not want to delete the words themselves. Okay. All right. So here we have the text. This is the text that I still want to kind of carry forward. I may reorganize some of it a little bit as we go, but I really love having like my Instagram handle listed here as well. But I'm gonna keep this second page really as my reference guide because when I go to doing text and adding any different features, I want to be able to pull these forward because they are what I like to use. These are items from my actual tool. If I switch back to my author brand toolbox, you'll notice here's my subheader. What's in store for the month is in the same font. So my brand really is carrying forward. But let's go here and let's just start with the color of this background. And I think for the moment, I am going to, I'm feeling a purple vibe because, and for those of you who have joined me in previous sessions, you'll know that I've been working on, let's see here. Here's one of my posts where I've been using this like nice corner piece. And I'm actually right now just going to take that copy, come over here, and paste it in because I like how that represents not only it has my name, but it has my logo, it has colors that I use frequently, so it really creates a sense of um, it is further enhancing my author brand. So I'm gonna start with having this in the corner. However, there's going to be some other items. I mentioned that I wanted to kind of give a nod to my different book series that I'm working on, and I'm thinking that I can use that in the other corners. So I'm going to go down to my logo section real quickly, and I'm going to swap out to the Glenmeyer Whim Mysteries. And let's see, the new logo that I have for the Glenmeyer Whim Mysteries. And this is actually going to be a little bit more impactful, the reason why I'm using the Glenmeyer Whim Mysteries this month, because I already know that my goals, which I have yet to write out, so that'll be done today too. I know that my goals are revolving around this particular book, so I am going to definitely be leaning into the motif of the Glenmeyer Whim Mysteries here. So I'm just going to put my little logo that I have here for the time being. Another item that I was thinking about doing is I was thinking about putting like the logos of each of my books in the corners um, of the design, but I might actually it is going to create a little bit more work for me to like swap them out each month. So let's see here if there's like a clever way that I could do this. Record a mystery series. Let's bring that up here. This reminds me kind of my bookmark that I designed with my different logos. So I could do something where I actually have all of my series logos listed along the side. And honestly, I might have to swap out just for the size purposes here. I might just go back to the regular pot logo for the interim. Make this a little smaller. Bring it over a little bit more. Okay. So I have this thing lining the side of my page, and at this point I might, because I don't want to, you always run the risk of things being too busy. I might, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this to save, and I'm going to get rid of this for the moment. And let's see. Then I am going to come up with a design that is going to fill this side of the screen. And support the text and let's see, yes, all of the text that I have over here. Let's put this in the corner. Change the coloring here. I'm going to make this white. Make this white, and then I'm going to swap out my color and make that dark purple. Okay. So I still have some stuff to like zhuzh up here. And what I'm thinking of, and I'm going to go into my elements section, and I'm going to search for a notepad because I like the idea of my goals being written on a notepad. And I'm just kind of picking the first notepad I see. I really like the spiral notebook image. And I also really love how it's like really close to my colors already. So that's kind of fun. Let's see here. Let's make the colors exactly. Here we go. Nice. Let's actually make, I think we want to make these a little darker. There we go, to give it some depth. And then the pink, I'm going to swap to coral. I think I like the coral better. Although I don't hate the pink. I think a lighter approach is going to be good. Okay, so we're going to keep that for the time being. Okay, so you may notice a very faint line. I was looking at this, I was like, why is there a margin on this image? But it's not an image, it's not a margin um, of the notepad. It's a margin of Canva that just kind of lets you know, like, hey, like this is your interior margin frame. So that's something that will kind of disappear as we move forward. So I'm going to align this with the center. Let's make this small so it doesn't throw my. There we go. So it's on the center of the notepad. Bring this down here until it's on the center. You'll see that those pink lines really pop up. Let's go ahead and February already here. Amazing. Do some size readjustments. Writing goals, February 2003. Was that centered? I couldn't see. And there we go. Okay. Writing goals. Perfect. What's in store for the month? All right. This part's always the hardest because getting the size of my, and I might actually change, because I do have a lot of fonts on here right now. As you may, that's like the downside to using all my different logos is there's a lot of fonts going on. So I think I am going to swap this to, do I want, here we go. Something that still looks like it's handwritten, but it's less in your face. Okay, so I am February. My goals for the month are, um, let's see, I've got some blog pieces. I would like to do more of my author brand rehab stream. Let's just do establish regular author brand stream. And I'm going to, oh gosh, I'm at 28, was it 25,000 words yesterday? I'd like to get MS up to 50,000 words by the end of the month. My fingers are crossed that I can actually write more than that, but a lot of the times I like to set myself goals that there's kind of a, you can approach this two ways. You can set a goal that is so outrageous that if you achieve it, amazing, but if you don't achieve it, like you set an outrageous goal and you should be proud of what you were able to accomplish. Or you set yourself up for something that you know that you can do so that anything that is above and beyond really makes you feel like, okay, like I'm conquering the world. And I feel like I need that mentality. I need the, oh wow, I'm conquering the world. I'm going above and beyond. So that's how I'm gonna approach this one. Okay. And let's see here. I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get rid of these dots because I am going to use graphics instead of the bullet point feature to enunciate each one. Ooh, I'm going to use those, see if I can find those tags. That's clever. Okay. So blog pieces, author streams, there we go. And because I'm going to be putting some like identifiers for them, I am going to put them flush against that margin line. And now go back here to my notepad, and those are thumbtacks. Thumbtack. There we go. Okay. Ooh, I like the gold one. Ooh, wow, this one looks hyper real. Ooh, and there's a purple one. Let's see how the purple one looks. Do I like that? I don't know. I almost don't like the purple. I might go, let's see what the pink one looks like. Right, blog pieces. That one kind of looks like an eraser head. I don't like that one either. This one was kind of fun. Although I cannot make color changes to it, so I like it. I'm gonna have, but I don't like how I will need to adjust the colors of the other items that I have here to make it, because right now it's like clashing very poorly with that coral, with the coral rings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to swap out the color of the rings to purple. Can't see that at that point. Ooh, this or this? I almost think that this is better because it really ties in the color, the corner colors with my... Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, perfect. So now I have the basics of my new template for each month. And I say basics because I still think that there needs to be a little bit more stuff happening for it to really pop off the page. And we're going to rectify that by using shadows. I've talked before about how I love shadows, how I think shadows give so much power to a particular piece. And so I'm going to use some shadowing to really drive home. Let's see here. Okay, 2058. Okay, apply. Because right away, like now there's like something popping off the screen at you. And that's what I always like to strive for because it adds an element of realism to it, even though all of my images are very two-dimensional. So go back here. The blur was at 8. The color was this. Perfect. Love. And then last but not least, we're going to shadow my little cauldron. Turn the blur up to 8. Switch the color to dark purple. And apply. Okay, so now we've added some more depth to the picture. What would be amazing, I'm not holding my breath though, because I would love it if this could be shadowed as well, but it does not look like it can be. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a trick. And I'm honestly not 100% sure why this cannot be, what the difference is for this particular image versus like this image that creates the ability to have that shadow feature. But I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of get around that in the future. So I'm actually going to highlight my element and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to just paste it again. I'm going to come up here to my colors and I'm going to go purple, 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 so that this entire thing is purple. And then I'm going to start by dragging my transparency down. And you can start to see, oh, now we're getting the opportunity to create some shadows, aren't we? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to moderately align this with my existing thing. And I'm going to make it a little bit larger. That's a bit too big, but let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, so I've kind of aligned it, but off kilter, and then I'm going to push it back. And then you can kind of see like, oh, there's my shadow that I have for this little notepad. Let me see, I'm going to actually drag the transparency down even more so that it's just like super, super faint. And I want to get the sizing of this right because I don't want it to be like too off kilter, but I also don't want it to be I don't want it to be like too much overwhelming. So let me see. And the reason why it's like kind of snapping to different sizes is because of the different like lines that we have available or the different margins. So here, I'm just zooming in to kind of get away from that effect. And there. So now it's like a little bit bigger. Awesome. All right, so we have the faintest of shadow that we've made ourselves, which is pretty cool. I'm going to make this box smaller. Am I going to make it smaller? Let's see. Can I make this? There we go. Perfect. Because I don't want that like overtaking everything. All right, awesome. So this is shaping up to look really, really nice. Not only is it really showcasing the different projects that I have that I'm working on, but it also is more cohesive with my author brand. If there is the possibility, I'm trying to think of a way that could I throw my logo on here somewhere, and I'd love to do that, but I'm also thinking that like I'm getting too there's too much going on. So any additional changes that we're making are going to be much more subtle. And those subtle changes that I'm going to make are textures and adding some like texture definition into the design. And you're like, what is going on right now, Sarah? You're just like totally destroying everything that you just did. Right now, I'm just kind of adding in some additional like shadowing um, and trying to like bring some life to the background. Um, because with it being just that flat, the flat color, uh, there's nothing really else kind of like drawing your viewer's attention away from it. So what I'm doing is I'm just bringing in this like really pretty design that I love, um, and I'm just making it barely visible to just add like a little bit more depth to what's happening. Um, Now, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, can I tell that these are leaves or not? And so what I'm going to do, I'm not 100% sure I love these as my background option. I'm just having a hard time saying goodbye of that like cute little corner piece that I absolutely love. Maybe I can put it up here. No, you can't even see it up there. Okay, so we're going to look at other textures that I can use to incorporate. So let's come back here into the elements section. And right away, we've got like a lot of different options popping up. We could do something as simple as this like line. You're like, ew, that looks gross. But just have to tweak it a little bit. Put it to the back. Bring down my transparency so that it's like barely there. And at that point, you don't even notice it that much. It kind of gives me, what is that? Like just rustic wood vibes. And rustic wood is like always in. So I don't hate it. It's just not like, I just don't love it as much as I want to love it. So let's try something else. There's so many different ways that you can experiment with these designs that really speak to you. Again, we're going to swap out the color. This time we're going to go here, push this to back, and the reason why I like the waves is it kind of gives like a whimsical vibe to it, which I'm loving much more than I like this one. All right, I can delete this because I no longer need it. That one I'm saying goodbye to. I am liking this. Has to be just, the shading has to be just right. Let's see what happens if I throw on a different, ooh, I could do a lighter one. I think mine, oops, that one disappeared just altogether. I like it being darker, the darker of the shades. Let's see how this looks with, I really like that a lot. But there are other options. I'm a big fan of, making sure, trying on a lot of different things. You never know what is going to work out for you. This looks wild, and I think it might be too busy for what we have going on, but doesn't hurt to check. and I actually really like it. um, wow, I really like that one. Let's see if it changes, if my perspective changes with the different colors. That one's like too far gone. I really like this one as well. This one is gone. I'm out of it. I think this one is going to be the one that I go with. But let's just take a look at what our other options are. I would love something, honestly, that is a little more like royalty based. Because I have my Court of Mystery series, it would be a nice nod to have like a regal looking background. Um, so let's see if I can get this one. Looks kind of has potential. Very snowflakey. And again, positioning, drag it down, and I don't like it as much as there's just it's a little too harsh. This one has very soft texture to it, whereas the jaggedness of those lines was very apparent. All right, doing a quick surf of others. Let's see. This one has a royal vibe to it as well, but I think that abstractness of the other one is really the big win for me. Well, I actually really like that because that looks like wallpaper to me. Oh gosh, this is hard. This is when it gets really hard when it's, how do you decide when there's just like so much. I don't like it when it's smaller. I liked the bigger. I really like that one. I think I keep finding things that I really like, and pretty soon I'm going to just have. This is my last one. This is the last one. And the only reason is I'm harkening back to those flowers that I had that I really loved at the beginning. I'm just going to go straight to all purples. And I'm just doing a little difference of shadowing to kind of create that depth within the background itself. All right, let's see. Oh, I really love that one too. Ah! Let's see. I think I like the bigger flowers. And the transparency. Let's see what happens if I like darken up the. That I don't like. It definitely has to be the contrast of. Now I could have it be contrasting complete, like. Let's see. Do I like them the smaller flowers or the bigger flowers? I'm having a hard time deciding that. Let's see. Oops, they all disappear. I'm trying to think what's most me. I'm not really a flowery type of person, but I love using flowers in my motif because it's just like very warm and soft. Um, this one is out. This one is out. You know what? I think I still really like this one. It's got enough of a texture to it that you can definitely see that it's not just sitting across a flat background, but it's also like not as defined so that people are looking at it and being like, what is that? It's just a design, and I really like how that looks. Um, so I have my new monthly goal post. Every month I can come back here now and pull up. I can just swap out the date that we have. I can put in my goals, and I'm good to go. I can share this, download it right to my computer. You also have the ability to share things on social. I don't do this a lot, and so I can't really speak to the workflows and such. I'm a big believer in managing everything through um, Facebook, the Meta Business Center. I really like being able to post to Facebook and Instagram through that platform. Let's see if I go to. So I'm able to share, so I could share it to Twitter if I was on Twitter still. You can share it to Facebook groups, right to TikTok, all these great places. You can even schedule. I'm curious about Instagram. Let's see, suitable, aha, immediately post. Okay, so this is where you get, because I do a lot of my posting on Instagram. And you have to have, I think, in order for things to work, things to post effectively on from Canva to Instagram, you have to have a Canva business account, um, which I think a lot of people do, but there's also the Instagram business account. But there's also something that's called your Instagram creator. And I know that I am technically a creator, but because I want to use the features of Instagram on that I want to like use like the business the connection here, I have to use it as a business user, I'm pretty sure, because otherwise if I do immediately post from the mobile app, I have to like scan this QR code on my phone and then do all of my posting from my phone. And I absolutely hate posting to Instagram through my phone because I cannot type on a text keyboard to save my life. I like to type everything out at a computer and post it from there. So if I was to share that on the schedule to post from desktop, I have to have a business account. And that's one thing that like you just need to make sure that you are configured properly. Um, you just need to make sure that that's configured properly. But again, I'm a big believer. I just download it to my desktop and then post away. So I'm going to actually take care of that now because I need to get these posted. Today, the February 1st is like quickly disappearing. Um, okay, and then so this is my Instagram post. I also do have one that I use on Facebook. Um, right here. And again, I know it says Twitter. I'm actually going to change that right now. I used to use this on Twitter as well because of the canvas. I liked having the long appearance rather than the this the square. It's called a square appearance. So what I'm going to do is I think, what is the canvas size on this by any chance? 1024 by 512. So I'm going to go back to this bad boy and resize and go to 1024 by 512 and copy and resize. And we'll see how this design works. It might not work as well as I want it to from the horizontal canvas, but let's see what we can make happen. I wonder if what happens if I like put these next to each other. I don't know if that even works. Not really. Um, it's not like horribly off, but I don't know where the, I wonder if I have to like flip it. It's pretty close, to be honest. But I think instead of making it more of a hassle, I'm just going to expand it across the whole thing. It's going to like distort this, the design just a little bit more. It's going to make it more in your face, but it's fine. I'm going to remove my author stuff because I am on Facebook and you don't normally use usernames on Facebook. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to make, and first I'm going to double this so that I save my background, and I'm going to actually delete it for a little while because it's going to be annoying to deal with having that like constantly get hit in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and expand this size of this. I'm going to, so we're making sizing adjustments so that this can be on Facebook. And I'll kind of adjust everything once it's all configured. But as you can see, I'm like making this notepad just like kind of fill the screen a little bit more than it does on the Instagram post. And then from here, I can make my, I think I'm going to make these closer together in this fun little shape and then bring the size up. And bring this all into the center. And remember, you're like, oh, there's like a lot of dead space here. Remember, I still have my background that I will be able to implement. And here, just gonna make my point my goals out. And perfect. I don't love that. I think I want to make these smaller, to be honest. There we go. I wish that I had, so here, I'm going to do a little bit of line spacing just to like separate the different goals from each other. So we've got establish regular author brand, but then I need to bring that down here because this is actually the next goal. There. Nice. And so we didn't have to do too much reconfiguring, but it was enough. Oops, where are we going? I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to paste this back over here, position it to the back, and there we go. Okay. Perfect. And so now I have a design that not only speaks about what the projects I'm working on, but it really drives home the colors that I'm using in my author brand. It showcases my logos that I'm using, and I can refer back to these as every month and just plop in the necessary information that's going to change so that when somebody looks at my, let's say they're looking at my Instagram profile page and they're seeing all of those like the squares on your profile, they're going to see those repeated designs and know that, oh, that's Sarah's goal post. And so that you have that continuity that will follow you through while you're making these goals and sticking to them and hopefully writing away each month and having the success that you're looking for. I am going to just quickly rename this for Facebook. I'm going to go back to this one and rename it Instagram. And perfect. So then I can kind of sunset these other items that I have that I've done in the past. So this is going to kind of go by the wayside. This one is going to go by the wayside. And then every month I'll come back to these and enter my goals. So that, again, is generating content for myself, but it's also helping me stay on task, keep myself in check, and just really, again, be able to be as engaged online as I possibly can be. So that is what I wanted to achieve today during my Canva session. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you will stop by next week when we do some more exploration about what Canva can do for you as an author. Thanks again for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, everybody.